Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Today today being the 14th. 14th day of June, 2026. Uh, let me. Okay. Okay. So we basically for today, the last class on Thursday in the Skill Up Emo Cloud Engineering department, we talked about creating creating a user and then giving that user access to the CLI, and then also giving that user a permission to create or to provision resources from the CLI.
Hello,
So
hello, Mr. Promise. Please,
yes, sir.
I I did not hear you well. Didn't hear you well. Could you
Okay,
please?
okay, okay. What I said that's on Thursday we spoke about creating users, right? And then giving that user access to the CLI, and then also giving that user the permission to create or provision resources in AWS. So this today, we are going to recap that again, and then we are going to also talk about S3. We're going to also talk about S3. We're going to host a static website. We're going to create a bucket, host a static website, uh, on S3. Just to refresh, just to recall what we did last 2 weeks, because I know that maybe some of us might have forgotten the processes to do that. So I'm going to share my screen in a minute. Okay. Can you all see my screen? Hello?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, you can see.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is my console. Let me go to the home page. So first of all, we are going to start by creating a bucket. We're going to start by hosting a static website on AWS, and then from there we'll now talk about how to create users and assign policy, and also give them access to the CLI. And if there's time too, we are going to create an instance using the CLI, which is PowerShell. So if time, if there's enough time to do all of this, then we are going to get through it. So let me just delete the old buckets I have already in this place. Okay. So let me create a new bucket. You guys are still seeing my screen, right? Are you still
Yes.
seeing my screen?
Yes, I'm seeing it.
Okay. Is my voice audible enough?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let me go ahead and create the bucket. And then I've just imputed the bucket name. And then for the records, I want to remind us that this, the name for the bucket is should be unique. So it should be a name that has never existed in the AWS database. So you have to find your way or to figure it out to make sure that you choose a very unique name. And so we are going to unblock all public access because we are hosting a static website. So if you block this public access, that means people from outside will not be able to access the website, the static website. So this is a security feature. It's basically if you want to add a very sensitive or private information in your AWS S3, then you can activate it. But for the purpose of this practical, we are going to disable it. That means we're going to uncheck it to keep it open. And then we are going to enable bucket versioning too. We're going to enable bucket versioning. And then the next thing we do is to create buckets. Okay. So the bucket is successfully created. So we are going to go ahead to upload a file, but then there is an index.html file that was sent to us in the class. So I'm just going to use that same one for the purpose of this video. But it's not this hosting a static website is not limited to using just that HTML file that was sent to us in the class. So as long as you have any other HTML file, you can upload it and it will still work. So let me quickly look for it. I think this is it here. So I upload. Okay. Let me also upload the picture. Let me see if I can find that picture. Let me look for the picture. Uh, well, I can't find it. Let's just leave it. So having uploaded the index.html, the next thing we go to properties. Go to properties, and then we scroll down to static website hosting. By default, it is disabled. So we have to make sure that we enable it. If you don't enable it, it will not work. The website will not be accessible over the internet. So we have to enable it and then put the name of the file we just uploaded. That's the name of the index.html. It mustn't be index.html. It might be about.html. It might be users.html. It might be services.html, product.html. But in this video, in this course, I mean, we what I uploaded into this S3 bucket is index.html. So I'm just going to type it out here, index.html, and then we save the changes. Yeah, it's saved. Then the next place we have to move to is the permissions. The permissions, then we have to also we have to add some bucket policy just to ensure. Without these policies now, this the static website will not be accessible over the internet. So we have to give it this policy just to ensure that it can be accessed, so that if you copy your buckets link and send it to someone, and the person click on that link, it will still show the person that's your static website. So we have to edit it, and then let me okay I'm going to type the policy. I'm not going to copy and paste, so I'm going to type the policy. So I'm going to be fast. So this is the version of the policy. Statement. So, mhm. So if you have your console open, you can also follow and also tag along, and then this. So this is it, and then we have to then So what we are going to do is this resource here, we are going to copy this bucket arrow ARN here, and then remove this one, and then paste it, and then add a slash asterisk at the end of it, and then save changes. Something is wrong. Mm, mm, mm. Let me figure it out. Okay. I think it's this one. Mhm. So let me try to debug it and see what the problem is. Huh? Hello?
All right. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me try to figure out what the problem is. Public gets objects, and then the principal, the allow, and so we copy this, and then we put it here, and then the stories. I have so successfully it has worked. And then if we go back to properties here, yeah, and click on this bucket website endpoint, you see the website here. The reason why this picture is not showing is because I couldn't find the picture that I added in the index.html in my downloads. So if you do it yourself and then upload the picture, I'm sure you will see the picture, you will see the picture display in that link. So if I copy this link now and send to someone, the person will also, once the person click on this link, the person will be able to open, the person will be able to open this, access that static website. So we are going to create user, and then we'll go. I'm just trying to make this fast so that we can be able uh to leave here on time. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to delete my bucket to make sure that I don't incur uh cost for myself. Let me empty the bucket. Okay, and then let me delete the bucket itself. All right. So to create a user, we are going to look for IAM. We're going to click IAM, search it in the search bar up, and then you click on it. Once it opens, once it loads, let's wait for it to load. Then we'll go to IAM users here, and then you see the ones I created. So this one now is the one we we created in class. This Easy Promise CLI, and this is Mr. Anthony, the one I created for you 2 days ago. And then I didn't give you the reason why you're not seeing access key ID is because I gave you um I gave you I gave you permission to access the console. So this one is basically for the CLI. That is why you are seeing this access key ID here. So this is the one I created for you. But in this video, we are going to create a new one, and then we are going to give it access to the CLI, just like we did in class for this easy promise underscore CLI. Any questions? Do we have any questions? Please, let's just flow along, please. Just if you have questions, if you have contributions, we can, so that this class will be lively. Is there any questions or any contribution?
Now, my brother, towards the end of your lecture, I was battling. I battled with the network.
Okay,
I couldn't.
all right. Okay,
I could
so
not.
we'll proceed by creating a user, and then we are going to give this user a username. And then for this video, we are going to call it AWS underscore uh, Google underscore Meet. So in this video, we are not going to be giving it access to the console. But if we want to give it access to the console, once you tick this line here, then the console password, it will ask you to choose if you want the password to be auto-generated, or you want you want to enter a custom password. That means you'll be the one to choose the password for the user. So either anyone you choose that you think is best for you, you can choose them. It's either you want AWS to auto-generate the password, or you want to create the password yourself. And then for this place that it says users must create a new password at next sign in recommended. According to what we were taught, it is not it is not advisable.
Hello, Mr. Promise. I don't know if it's from me, my end, on yours. I could not hear your voice again. Is somebody still hearing our lecturer's voice? Please respond so that we know.
Oh God, network is really really bad here. Ah, network is really really bad for me here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So in a working environment, ticking these users must create a new password at next signing is not recommended because you still have to be able to have uh, an edge over them in the sense that you can be able to change the password so that they will no longer have access to the CLY, especially when maybe the person has left the job or the person was sacked out of the job or anything happened, maybe a threat or anything comes up. You can just change the password so that the person will no longer be able to log in using that password you created for them. But if you check this users must create new password as next signing, it means that you are not in control of them. They will create a password which you do not know, and then even when you try to log them out, they will still use that their password to sign themselves into the CLY. So that is why it is not recommended that we take these users must create a new password. So, but we are not giving them we are not giving this user, AWS Google Meet user, access to the console. So we untick this place. So we untick this place, and then we click on next. So we click on next, and then uh and then it will ask us if we want to add a user to group and or copy permissions or attach policies directly. So another thing I want to talk about is adding users to group. It is more advisable to in a working environment to manage users per group, in the sense that if it is a banking sector, there are customer service, and then their marketing department, their IT department. All you have to do is just to what? Create a general group and maybe name it IT department. And then you give that group certain policies and permissions. So any user that you add into that group automatically inherits those those permissions and policy. So it is best to manage users in a group than to manage users uh, separately or independently. Like if you have like 13 employees, and then instead of putting them in their respective departments, and then give the group a permission, you start creating the users and giving them permissions one by one. So it's that one, it takes more time, and then it's a bit more stressful. It's not technically advised. The best option is to create a group according to the department, and then add users into that group, and they inherit the permissions which you've already added to that group. So what we are going to do is um, we are going to attach policies directly. We are going to attach policies directly. Uh, I'm going to attach policies directly, but let me check this. So this is the policy we are going to give. We are going to, let me go back to the, so in we are trying to give, we are trying to attach a policy, a permission to this AWS Google Meet user we are creating. So we are going to search this, and then this is Amazon EC2 full access. But this policy that I'm giving to this user is basically, this is not the policy that gives the person access to the CLOI. Rather, this is the policy that gives the user access to what? To create an EC2 instance. If I don't give this user this policy, the person will not be able to create instance. Okay, let me just leave it, and then when we try to create an instance using this when I've already given this user permission or access to the CLI, well, if you try to launch an instance, it will fail because this permission wasn't given. So I will just keep it, purposely skip it for now, so that we really understand what permissions is all about. So I will just skip it, and then let me go back to these copy permissions. You'll see that I gave this is the permission I gave to me, Mr. Anthony. I gave him permission. I am full access. That means you can even create a user and power user access. So you can create a user, and you can also create resources too in the console. So this is the the policies, the permissions I gave to you. And then this Vim mascot, I gave him an administrator access, which means that I can log in using this Vim mascot, and then I can still do whatever thing. I can still be able to act like a root user, in the sense that I'm not a root. This Vim mascot is not a root user, but if I log in with Vim mascot, I can assign you create users, add policies to the user, create a group, create any instance, because I gave it an administrator access. So this is exactly there are many policies in AWS. There are many policies in AWS, and each and every policy in AWS is limited to a certain task, or limited to a certain thing that user can do. So for this, you see that this user can only be able to create EC2 with this policy here. So let me go back to what we were doing. Let me just skip this process, and then next, and then we create the user. Okay, let me just tap on this view user. So now this is the AWS Google Meet user that we have created. So what we're going to go ahead and create an access key. So this access key is what we are going to use this access key to give the user. We're going to use this access key to give the user access to the CLI. So we tap on it, and then you see the use case is what? Command line interface, which is the CLI. And then we tap on displays, we tap on confirmation. I understand the above recommendation. I want to proceed to create an access key. So we click on next, and then we put a tag value. It is optional, so let's just skip it, and then we create an access key. So you can decide to download it. So I'm going to download this this access key into my system. And now we are going to open. But before you give the user access to the CLI, you have to make sure that you have to first download AWS CLI into your system. If you don't download AWS CLI into your system, it will not, your PowerShell will not authenticate with your AWS. Your PowerShell will not authenticate with your AWS account console. So you have to make sure that you have AWS CLI downloaded into your system. So let me quickly open my PowerShell. Let me quickly open my PowerShell. Let me quickly open my PowerShell. Okay, so if I type, because I have AWS CLI downloaded, if I type AWS dash dash what version, it's going to give me the version of the CLI that I have. If you look at this here, the highlighted part of it, you see the version of the CLI that I have installed in my laptop already, my system already. So we'll go forward to type AWS configure AWS. I think there should be a dash dash here. If I'm okay now, let's do AWS configure, and then now you see it's telling us you can deliver temporary credentials to the AWS CLI using your AWS console session by running the command AWS login. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to copy the access key, which is this one here. We are going to copy it and then paste it into this place, and then we click enter. And then it's asking us AWS secret access key. So this is the secret access key. We copy it and then we paste it here. So you have to, it's now asking us for the default region name. So you have to add the region, the default region where your you created this user. The default that I'm using is what? US East 1. If you can see my cursor in the search bar, you see it is US East 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type US East US-East 1 and then click enter. So for this default output format, we are going to choose JSON. So JSON is a file format, and then that's what we are going to be using, JSON, and then boom, it is created. It is created. So now this user Google Meet AWS has been given access to the what? To the CLI. If I should come back here, you see that, let me refresh again. Let me refresh this. You see that it is now showing active 4 minutes ago. So it's now active, meaning that this AWS Google Meet user now have access what? Access to the CLI. Now have access to the CLI. So what we are going to do next is we are going to create an instance now. We are going to create an instance, an EC2, using the CLI. So let me get this script here. Mm, yeah. So this is the script. Basically, this was pasted in our in the group. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to edit this AMI, which is the image, AWS image. We're going to delete this AMI, and then we are going to put our own AMI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for EC2 here, just to get so let's click on launch an instance. So this is Amazon machine image. We're going to edit the AMI, which is the Amazon machine image, the one that is already there. So what we are going to do, you choose the operating system, the OS of your choice, and then you copy the AMI. Look at the AMI ID here. You copy this one, you copy it, and then you go back to your PowerShell. Go back to your PowerShell. Yeah. I don't know. Can you guys see my PowerShell? Huh? Please, are you seeing my PowerShell? Me, I don't know if you are seeing my PowerShell. Oh. Please, if you are seeing my PowerShell,
I
just
think we are just seeing your AWS account.
that means
So network is really slow for them. So you have to share your entire screen.
okay. Let me. Okay. Okay. Let me share my entire screen. Uh, Wait, just give me a minute. Uh, oh God. Okay, so now I think we can see it. Yeah, we can now see it, right? So what we're going to do is, and oh God, I've missed the network is really very, very bad.
We can share your screen.
You can see it now, right? So we edit
Yes, yes.
this AMI that is already in the script, and then we paste the one we copied from our console, which is this one. And then this AMI is a tier 3 micro. So we edit this T2 to what? T3. And then what we are going to do is we are going to create a key pair. Then removing this my key pair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select an existing key pair. I'm going to select an existing key pair. I'm going to select an existing key pair here. So let me use about me 123 keeper. Let me use about me 123 keeper. So let me choose this about me 123 keeper. And then the security group, we are going to choose a security group. It's either you create a security group, or then you can use the one that is already created. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to use an existing security group, and then I'm going to use this launch wizard -6. So I'm going to say launch wizard -6, and then I will click enter. Look at what he said. He said an error occurred, unauthorized operation. When calling the run instance operation, you are not authorized to perform this operation. User AWS is not authorized to perform EC2 run instance. So this will now take us back to what I said earlier, that because the reason why this user cannot be able to run or provision this EC2 instance in the CLI is basically because the permission was not given to this user, right? Because I didn't give this user the permission from the console, this user cannot create an EC2 instance. So what we do now is we'll go back to IAM user and then give this user the permission, and then go back and that uh, run that command again, and then we'll see. Let's see what the difference will be. So let me tap on this. Let me open this user, and then let's add what permissions. Let's attach a policy directly, and then we are going to choose I think I copied that. This is it. But we want to give it this permission, Amazon EC2 full access permission. Then we tick here, and then we click on next, and then we add what the permission. Now we have successfully given this user AWS Global Meet. We are supposed to successfully giving this user what a permission. We have successfully given this user the permission, and then what we are going to do, we go back to our let me refresh, and then we'll go back to the PowerShell again, and then we go to that command using the up arrow key, and then we hit enter again. And then boom, as you can see, the EC2 has just been provisioned. So to confirm it, we'll go back to our EC2, go back to the EC2 dashboard, and then now we have one instance running. So now we have one instance running, is initializing. So this is basically how we can give a user access to the CLI. And then I'm going to also recap something, because my PowerShell wasn't showing when I was trying to do the whole when I was trying to give the user access to the CLOIs, my PowerShell. So I'm going to go through that process again just to make sure that everything is being captured into this section. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cancel this and also and open the PowerShell again just to a quick run through what we mixed then. So the first thing we do to check the version of AWS CLI we download is we type AWS dash dash what version, and then we click what enter. It will give us what it will print out the version of AWS CLI that was installed into our machine. And the next thing we do is we type AWS configure, tap AWS configure, and then it is requesting for access key. So what we are going to do, we go back to that IAM section. Then click on these users, and then we open this. And then we open this. Let me try to, because let me try to create another access key, because the secret key will not show again. So let me just try to create another access key just to make us understand, okay, this is it now. So what we are going to do is, the reason why I have to create another access key is this secret key will only be visible to you once. After then, you will not see it again. So this access key is only what you will see in that user's in the user's blade. This access key is what you will see. That was why I have to create it, just to make sure that we understand what the process is. So here that is requesting for the AWS access key, we copy this access key here, and then we paste it into this place, and then we click enter. It will request for the secret access key. This is actually the reason why I created another access key. So we copy this secret access key here. You can show it. So you copy this one here, and then we paste it into this place, and then we click enter. Then it will ask you for your default region name. The reason why it gave this US East one already, suggested it here, is because this user has been given access to the CLI already. So it's just trying to fetch this region from the past prompt that I gave it. But if you're creating a new, if you're trying to give a new user access to the CLI, it will not suggest this US East one for you. You will be the one to add it yourself. Once you go to the search bar, you will see the region name. You see it on the search bar of your AWS console. So I'm going to type US-East-1 and click enter. And then the default output format, you can see JSON here. The reason why you're seeing JSON here is because in the past one I added JSON, so that is why it's suggesting it. But if you're creating if you're trying to do it for the first time, you will not see this JSON. It will suggest for you. So you put JSON and then you click enter. You have given the user access to the CLI. So this is basically what we missed when my PowerShell wasn't shared on the screen. So another thing I'm going to emphasize on is, please make sure that you have your AWS CLI downloaded in your machine. If you don't have it downloaded, this thing I'm doing now will not work. So you have to make sure that you have your AWS. You have to have your AWS CLI downloaded on your machine. So if you have any questions, please Just you can ask now, please. Please, any questions, Mr. Anthony? Hello. Any questions?
Yes, my brother. No.
Okay, you don't have any.
Yes, not yet.
Okay. Okay. Junior sisters, do you have anything to add? Junior sisters. Okay. It seems his network is not is
Yes.
bad. So we'll
I
call it a day.
I thought as much. All right. Thank you very much, my
Okay.
brother. I
All right.
appreciate.
Good night, sir.
Yeah, good night.
Okay.